Depression and anxiety is a choice. Now, I know you've seen the title, you're thinking, how can it be a choice? Who would choose to be depressed or to be anxious? You have no idea what you're talking about. I strongly advise you to watch this video right to the end to understand the subject in depth. If you watch for a few minutes and click on the next one, you're going to misinterpret it. The choice is yours. Now, before I break the video down, make sure to hit that like button, hit the red subscribe button, and leave a comment down below. So, most people believe that anxiety and depression is a life sentence, that you cannot escape it, that you are born that way, or once you experience certain things, that's it, that's you forever. You're taking medication to make it feel better, and you cannot escape this way of being. Now, that's categorically wrong. That's not the case. It is not a life sentence. Because you have to realize that just over 10 years ago, nobody has heard of anxiety, has heard of depression. But these days, every single person has anxiety, depression, PTSD, some sort of mental illness. Where did it stem from? You know, why is it so popular? Why is it now a global issue? These are the sort of things you need to start thinking about. And that's what I'm breaking down right now. Because before we break it down, we have to get into the definition. We have to get into what the depression anxiety is. Depression really is just you suffering from a past event. Maybe you was little, you was abused, or, you know, attacked, or some traumatic experience that happened to you when you was younger or previously. So that there, you're affected by the thought of that. Now, anxiety is suffering from the future, so to say, like in a future event that has not occurred yet. You're already pre-predicting and suffering how the outcome will play out. So you're suffering from the future. But then depression is the past, anxiety is the future, suffering from the future. But both of them is imagination. Both of them is coming from your way of thinking. You're not actually suffering from that event. You're suffering because you keep rethinking the same thing over and over again. But in the present moment, there is no suffering. You watching this video right now, you are not suffering. Do you understand what I'm saying? You sitting down or eating food, watching TV, you are not suffering. The moment you start to think about what happened when you was 5 or 10 or 12 or at school or at work, that's when the suffering happens. You're outside of this moment. You're in a different place of thought. If you start to think about the future, how you got the bills to pay, what's going to happen when he or she does this and that, that's when you're suffering. But in the moment you're in right now, you watching me, this video, there is no suffering occurring. So then we have to then admit that the suffering is just mental. The suffering is your imagination going against you. That's what you're suffering from. You're suffering from your imagination, nothing else. Do you understand what I'm saying? No one's hitting you physically, it's just in your mind. So then, if that's the case, like I think Plato said it beautifully, we suffer more in imagination than we do in reality. Think about all the suffering that you have faced or you are facing. 9 out of 10 is imagination. Right now you have social anxiety because you're scared that if you go into an environment or speak or someone's going to look at you, you're suffering mentally. You're suffering because someone hit you or your parents hit you or you got abused as a little kid. Mentally again, it's always a state of mind. It's always a force. Same way with, look at anxiety, depression, just like any other emotion. Because really it's just an emotion. Just like anger. You're not angry every single second. You might be angry at times. You don't feel sad every single second. You might be sad at times. Just like you cannot be anxious every single second. You might feel anxious at times. You might feel depression at times. But that's not you. You're so identified with this label. Everywhere you go, you are affirming it. You're telling people, hey, I have anxiety. Yeah, I got depression. Everywhere you go, you keep saying it, you keep thinking it, so that you're embodying it. And you're suffering with it day in, day out, because that's what you keep projecting out there. That's what you keep thinking and saying. Do you understand what I'm saying? So you have to realize that it is you who is bringing it onto yourself. This is why I said it's a choice. Now, when I say it's a choice, that doesn't mean like, oh yeah, let me go pick depression. Let me go pick and be anxious. No, you're not picking it in that sense. Just like you're not picking to be overweight, like directly, it's indirectly you're doing it. If you eat junk food every single day, you're choosing to be overweight. You're choosing to be out of shape. If you're choosing not to exercise, again, you are choosing to be out of shape. That's a choice. It's an indirect choice. Same with the anxiety, depression. If you continue to speak about anxiety, depression, yeah, I feel that every single day I take medication, you are choosing it. Whereas if you do not focus on that, you focus on something more uplifting, you are not choosing it. That's as simple as it gets. Choice is not always direct, it's the indirect way to choose as well, you know? So then to relieve yourself of this feeling of anxiety and depression, it's all about letting go of the past and the future. When I say letting go, I don't mean forget. Don't get it misconstrued. Listen carefully to the words. I said you need to let go of it. So, of course, let's say you had a traumatic childhood or some crazy event happened to you previously. You cannot forget it. That will always be in your mind, be a part of you. But you can choose to think about it every single day and talk to every single person about it and keep saying that, yo, this is it, this is what changed my life. Or you can acknowledge it for what it is, which is just an experience, and learn the lessons from it and move forward. You know? Everybody talks about how they used to be like this and this happened. Let's talk about the future self. What does the future self look like? The best version of yourself look like? Because wherever you focus on is what you're going to step into. If you're focusing on the suffering, you'll remain in suffering. If you're focusing on abundance and prosperity, you'll step into that light. So let's start talking about where you're going to be, where you are, how you're progressing, the positivity, the consciousness, the growth that's happening in your life. Wherever you focus on grows. Always remember that. I'm not saying to hide and keep your problems to yourself. Of course, you can speak to people about it, but wherever you focus on will continue to happen. So letting go of the past, in the sense that it's just a lesson, and letting go of the future, realizing that it hasn't occurred yet, you cannot pre-predict it. And if you are going to look at the future, look at it in the bright side. Why do we always predict the future to be negative? Oh yeah, in 3 months, and if this happens, oh next month I might not be able to pay the bill. Oh yeah, every time you look at the future, it's negative. You're looking at the bad things that may happen. Why don't you start to look at the good things that's going to come from the future? That you're going to be smarter, wiser, financially free, in better shape, in better spirit. Again, focus. You really dive in, really step into that, like the thought and the words that you say, the significance of it. You know, because everyone realizes that if you talk to yourself negatively, if you keep calling yourself ugly and you're not worthy and you keep beating yourself up, it has a negative effect on your life. So what do you think happens when you do the opposite? When you lift yourself up, you praise yourself, you affirm positive things. What happens to you then? If you believe that negative talk will bring you down, then the positive talk must lift you up. You cannot believe in one without the other. That's the reality. You understand? Now, this right here, also a major thing that you need to realize, bro, is your environment has a big impact on your thinking and your state of mind. If everybody around you is talking about depression, anxiety, how life is difficult, your parents, your friends, your colleagues, everyone who you come in contact with talks about that, then of course you have no chance. You're also going to be talking about it. You're also going to be projecting your past traumas and all the things that you're suffering with, because you're going to follow the crowd. So your environment is very important. You cannot be around negative people and think that you're going to be positive. You cannot be around people who talk about mental health every single second and think that you're not going to talk about it. Do you understand? So change your environment. The people who are talking negativity, you have to spend less time with them. Oh no, but it's my mom, it's my dad, it's my brother, I have to. You don't have to do anything. So you have to be miserable because someone else is miserable? Do you have to be depressed because your friend is depressed? Really think about what you're saying right now. So in order to move out of this state and that, you need to surround yourself with the beings, the people, the environment that is uplifting, that is positive, that wants you to grow. That is the best way to progress. So your environment has a big impact on your thinking and on your life. And you have to also realize that nothing defines you. So just because something crazy happened to you as a little kid, or because you suffered from this and this, that doesn't mean that is you for the rest of your life. That event doesn't define you. Nothing defines you, bro. It's about what you do on a day-to-day, and you can grow from anything. You can always get better. Just because you got abused as a kid doesn't mean that's it now. You tell that story from now until the end of time. Until you're 90 years old, you're still suffering from that abuse as a 5-year-old. Like, That's your choice. You chose that. You chose to suffer from that. That's not just how life works. Because there's some people who's gone through worse and have survived and have made something of themselves. So if people have survived worse than you, then why is it that you keep reaffirming the negative, keep reaffirming the thing that you're suffering from? That means it's a choice. This is what I said at the start of the video. It is a choice. There's people who've gone through worse things than you and have come out of it. What's the difference? It's a choice, simply. But if you do not believe it's a choice, if you believe it's a life sentence, if you believe people are just born that way and you cannot get better and depression and mental health is just what it is for some people, unfortunately, then that's it. That's your reality. You've accepted that as your reality and you shall receive it. Whatever you ask for, you shall receive. If you ask for this life of misery, of torture, then you continue to experience that. But if you realize there's more to life, that you can grow out of it, that you can become something more than just your past events, then that's what you're going to experience. This is the beauty of being a human being. Your ability to choose is what separates you. It's what elevates you or makes you decline. So what are you choosing? Are you choosing depression, anxiety, mental health, which is a victim card, if you ask me? Or are you choosing prosperity, growth, and abundance? It's simply a choice. Now it's a journey at the same time. When I say it's a choice, doesn't mean you choose it and that's it, it's all gone. It's a journey. You have to climb out of the dark into the light. You cannot just teleport there. It's a day by day, week by week, year by year journey to heal yourself, to self-love, to self-actualize, to step into the higher version of yourself. So don't expect the road to be easy. It's a very difficult journey because people are going to drag you down. Come back here. You know, what happened to the conversation that we used to talk about, the depression, anxiety? Now all you talk about is this prosperity. Come back. Misery likes company, so they want you to stay there. So you have to shed people, you have to shed your skin. You have to step into something different. You know, so hopefully the video brought you value and clarity with the subject, mental health, depression. And if it brought you value, hit that like button, hit the red subscribe button. Make sure to leave a comment down below and also check out the description to connect with me. Keep fighting.